All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about something that is quite literally at the heart of how we connect with people. It's called our attachment style, and it shapes pretty much every relationship we'll ever have. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're stuck on repeat in your relationships? Maybe you keep dating the same kind of person, or the same arguments keep popping up no matter who you're with. Well, what if I told you there's a really good reason for that? See, it's not just random. It's not bad luck. It's something called your attachment style. I want you to think of it like this invisible emotional map that was created a long time ago, in your past, and you're still using that map to find your way through all of your connections today. So in this explainer, we're going to unfold that emotional map. We'll start with what it actually is and what it looks like. Okay, so what is an attachment style, really? Well, put simply, it's a pattern of how you think, how you feel, and what you do when you're in a relationship. And here's the crucial part. This pattern was formed way back, based on your very first experiences with your parents or caregivers. They basically laid the foundation for how you learn to connect with people for the rest of your life. So now that we have an idea of what this map is, let's explore the main territories. Turns out there are 4 main attachment styles that pretty much all of us fall into. Now, as we go through these, just listen and see if one of them, feels a little familiar. This isn't about slapping a label on yourself. It's really about gaining some powerful insight into why you do what you do. Okay, let's break these down. First up, we've got the secure style. The core belief here is basically, hey, I'm worthy of love and people are generally trustworthy. These folks can get close to others, but they're also cool with their independence. Then you've got the anxious style. The little voice in their head is always whispering, I'm not good enough and they're gonna leave me. This means they often need a lot of reassurance and really fear being abandoned. Next, there's the avoidant style. Their whole deal is, you know what? I don't really need anyone. It's just safer to be on my own. So they tend to keep people at arm's length emotionally. And finally, the fearful avoidant. This one's tricky because there's this huge internal conflict. I really want to be close to someone, but it feels dangerous. This can make their behavior and relationships feel really unpredictable. So where did your map come from in the first place? Well, it all goes back to the very beginning. And as we talk about this, I want you to remember this is all about understanding, not about blaming anyone. The entire blueprint for your emotional map was drawn based on one simple thing: how your caregivers responded to you when you were a kid and you needed something from them emotionally. That's it. That's the whole ballgame. For example, if your caregivers were pretty consistent, if they were calm and available when you were upset, you probably learned a really powerful lesson. My needs matter, I can count on people, and the world is a safe place. That's the path to a secure attachment. But what happens if that care was inconsistent? Sometimes they were warm and loving, and other times they were distant or overwhelmed. Well, a child in that situation learns, okay, connection is unpredictable. Love can disappear, so I have to work really, really hard to keep it. And that's how the anxious style starts to form. Now, if the message you got was more like your feelings were a burden, maybe crying was discouraged, or your caregivers were just emotionally checked out, you learn something else entirely. You learn, my feelings are a problem. It's just safer if I rely on myself and don't bother anyone. That's the recipe for an avoidance style. And finally, we have the most complex path. This happens when a caregiver is a source of both comfort and fear. Think about it. The very person you need to run to for safety is also the person who is scaring you. The child is caught in an impossible situation, and they learn a deeply confusing lesson. I desperately want to be close to you, but getting close feels terrifying. Okay, I know that can all sound a little heavy, maybe even a bit discouraging, but hang on, because this next part is the most important part of this whole explainer. Your map is not your destiny. The good news, and it's really good news, is that your emotional map is not permanent. It's not carved in stone. It's more like a rough draft, and you, right now, have the power to pick up the pen and start drawing a new path for yourself, a path that leads toward security. So how do you actually do that? Well, first, you've just got to start recognizing your patterns. Just notice them. Notice the thoughts, the triggers, the reactions. No judgment, just awareness. Second, you have to challenge those old core beliefs. That little voice that says, I'm not enough, you can start to question it. Is that really true? Third, you practice. You consciously choose to try new things, like speaking up about your needs instead of shutting down, or setting a boundary. And finally, and this might be the most important step of all, self-compassion. You have to be kind to yourself. Understand that your map, your style, it developed to help you survive. It's not a character flaw. I want to leave you with this really powerful idea from our source material. It says, even if your past only gave you fragmented love, you can still build a complete self. Your worth was never, ever up for debate. Remember, you are the mapmaker now. You're the one holding the pen. So as you think about your own journey, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What's the very first landmark you want to explore on your new map?